tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
And there we go.
Oh.
You know, I got to teach y'all something about old school. You know.
I'm in school.
Here we go. What
Nice
do you know
little
about
groove.
this? What you know about this?
I only know from you, but I love the groove. When something like this come on,
This is what music was real.
yeah, I think about car parties and barbecues. Yeah,
Supernatural thing.
sing it. All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're tuned into Black Jesus on here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce the panel for this week.
What's going on, guys? I am your host, Jimmy V, and we are here with the beautiful...
Thank you, Angela Gibbs.
Miss Tootie
Must
is
be
in the
talking
building.
about me, right?
Yes.
Of course I am, you know.
And so, Miss Tootie, you're only in the first scene.
And the first scene.
And
this time.
so there is this Santos Jackson fight party. If you're not familiar with what a fight party is, it's when there's two boxers. For instance, there's the Canelo fight that's coming on Saturday on the 21st.
Right.
And when there's a huge party, one person decides to pay for it on pay-per-view because it's probably about $100.
That's right.
Right.
And
Too
then
expensive if you ask me, but...
Right.
That's
But
right.
then you charge people to come to the party
To the
because
party.
you provide alcohol and some other stuff.
Right.
I personally...
Or you BYOB.
Yeah,
Bring your own-
yeah.
Right.
Bring your own.
Yeah.
Bring your own booze.
That's right.
I've never paid to go to a fight party. Have you?
Ooh, yes, I've had.
you
I've
get out of
tried
that?
not to pay, but that person who actually purchased this fight is like, hey, before you step in here, give me my
Give up
20
the
bucks.
money.
Yeah, so it comes quick.
I've never had to pay for a fight.
How'd you slip in without having to pay?
Smooth.
He knows
criminal,
somebody.
man.
He knows
Yeah.
somebody. Who
I
knows
go
somebody.
I go to people who actually just pay for the fight and don't charge, and then when you go to the party, you be considerate and you bring a bottle.
There you go.
Right,
That
right.
works.
Yeah.
That's right.
Trade-off thing,
I think
right.
if someone pays for the party, pays for the fight, that it should be a potluck,
Yeah.
and everybody else should come. They should bring something.
You agree?
Right, yeah.
Plus, they got to clean up the house, all of that. You know.
Afterwards and all that. Yeah.
And so Black Jesus and his disciples cannot. They don't have enough money.
They broke, which we
They
all
broke.
know.
And Miss
And
Tootie
so-
won't let them come to their
Yeah,
her party.
so they're broke and they don't have $25 a piece to attend the fight party.
That's right.
And they asked Mrs. Tootie, who you said something that was really funny. You said, "You know, I can't stand Booty when you ask me something that you've already asked me over and over again."
That's
That
that
is
hate
such
love.
that is such a typical mother
Right.
response.
Especially a black mother.
I was trying not to do. I was trying not to break it.
But let's just go on and say it.
That is truly a black mother's.
Like, don't ask me again.
Yeah, my mother says that too. She's
Or
like,
how many
"Listen."
times do I have to tell you no?
Yeah. Or what?
Remind me of the time if you're in the grocery store or something. Mom, please, I want this. Boy, if you don't put that back. Like,
Yeah.
Come on, I want it bad.
How many times did not tell you no? Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you were in one scene, and so you are throwing a Filipino theme party or a Filipino themed fight party, and you must be Filipino to attend.
It's so funny because if you notice the outfit they had on me
Yes.
was
Yes.
this Filipino like kimono. I'm like, this Tootie is crazy. She crazy. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's hilarious how you're throwing Miss Tootie is throwing a Filipino themed party, and you must be Filipino to attend, but you.
I'm not Filipino.
Hello.
So,
But I'm expanding my horizons. Did you not hear me say that?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
that's
did.
all I'm saying.
You
upgrading
did.
yourself now.
You know.
That's right.
And then I thought there was an ongoing theme with Trayvon's character. Trayvon seemed to have had enough of everybody this
Yes.
episode.
Yes, he
and
did.
it started with Mrs. Tootie because she called him Devin.
Devin.
Yep.
Oh God! And you know what? And in this particular show, we had so much to do. Mike took the script and just kind of that particular particular scene, threw it out and said, "Let you all riff," right?
Okay.
So we had a few different takes with me and Batch, and it was a lot of fun. One of the ones I thought they were going to put in, they didn't put in, but he was just so sick of me. He was like, my name is not, and I'm saying, I'm sorry, that's what your mama named you. So they didn't put that one in, but we were going back and forth. But I just love that he's like, that's not my name. I'm like, he said, my name is Trey. I'm like, yeah, put the Trey in the
Inside the car, yeah. Which I was dying at that point. So.
But they let us rip it. We had a ball in that scene, yeah.
Which is interesting. So, do you guys get more creativity time on specific scenes compared to the ones?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it depends on how, I think how choreographed it has to be, and just how many moving pieces there are.
Interesting.
In this case, it was a longer scene, and we knew Mike. He's just brilliant. He just knew ahead of time that it was going to go too long. That they had the stunt and all of that was going to happen later on in the show, falling, and they knew that they couldn't spend a lot of time on that scene. And really, the scene was really just about setting up the idea of a fight party, and no, you cannot go to Miss Tootie's.
Yeah.
So they got to come up with something else. So how do we get in and out?
Yeah.
So they let us just kind of riff, and it was fun.
Right. Which we actually end up seeing them first things first. They wanted to pray, which whenever we really want something, what's the first thing that we always resort to first?
And they pray.
Please,
Exactly.
Lord, please,
So,
please, please.
Yeah.
Right.
Before we move on, I have to say I have a beef or a bone to pick with whoever.
I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was gonna be Miss Tootie.
No.
Come on now.
I
Shots over here.
my pet peeve is that you were only in one scene, and it's too much Lloyd and Vic. I'm sorry. This is an ensemble cast.
Right,
I
right.
need more from the ensemble cast.
Yeah.
I'll get into that later, but that's my biggest.
Right. Well,
that's my bone to
interesting you
pick.
say that, and of course, to me, Vic and Lloyd are comedy. I always say comedy
course.
gold, and I love them. Oh my God, they're just every time they come on the screen. But I've gotten some tweets, and I've heard some people say that I want to see more of all of you all together. I want to see all of it. So.
And we're gonna go into Vic and Lloyd just really quick. The kiss my ass that you said in the Filipino, I thought that was hilarious. Can you say that one more time?
I forgot what it was. I just made it up on the spot. Kim la matong.
Oh, that wasn't real?
No, it wasn't real. I just made it up.
Shut up.
I'm like hot dog bong. That means kiss my.
She's just that talented.
No, I just made that up.
Oh man, because I put on the closed caption and it said speaking in another language or Tagalog or something. I thought that was real.
No. I know Mike and then we're like, what is that? That's the one they kept though.
That was good. I like that. Let's move on. So now Vic and Lloyd are now preparing for their Vegas theme party.
Yes.
And
They're funny.
what I find interesting is, have you noticed that in every scene, Lloyd is eating?
He was either eating or getting his drink on. So same old.
It's Darby,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and it's normally the same thing. He and then he drinks, which I find hilarious. I
love him.
I was like, wait, he's eating again as he's trying to figure it out. And so now Vic wants the party to be Vegas themed. He even has a wardrobe attire picked out for Lloyd, which you can totally tell the dynamics of their relationship has totally changed.
Right.
Like they are best friends.
They're buddies now,
Yes, they are,
and that
yeah.
really that's really a narrative on Vic, and because he's such a hater, which I love though, because we see it coming. He has no friends.
Yeah.
The only friend that he really has is a bum.
Yeah.
Right.
Lloyd, right.
Lloyd. He needs Lloyd in his life, so he picks out an outfit for him.
Yeah, and Lloyd was like, I already got what I'm wearing.
Right.
Ooh, I'm gonna be sharp.
He's like, no.
He shut that down all the way, and I thought it was very just based off what you said. We've seen their relationship grow. I was surprised he actually invited him to the party, because usually he'll kick him directly to the curb.
Right. That was true.
That's a good point. The only reason that I would say that he would have him there is because Lloyd will find a way to get into the house or
mess things up probably.
So it's better to keep him,
control him.
and to control
Yeah.
him. Give him a suit, make him dress up, make him take a bath.
Right.
And I think he also thinks that Lloyd will have fun with his friends.
Yes. And you notice he wouldn't let Lloyd bring any of his friends.
He wouldn't let him bring any of his friends
because they smell.
Because they stink. And I thought that was really good to see the dynamic of the relationship of how that worked. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Which later on we see Vic is actually asking for Lloyd's help, but let me not jump on ahead there. So.
And now we're back. Now we're back at Fisher's house, and so they want Trayvon's dad, Big Tray, to now hook up the cable because Vic has rigged the cable to where every tenant who moves into the house has to use his account so that he can get the kickback for the rebate. Wow, that is some janky shit.
Right, that's right.
Yes.
And then so he got mad because when he came, okay, how did it go? He's mad at Trayvon's dad because Trayvon's dad did something where now he got lesser percent. He got like 10% less.
Yeah, his dad, Big Tray, played by Mark Curry. From Hanging with Mr. Cooper with Holly Robinson, Pete, and Raven Simone on ABC. Used to love that show.
Yeah, me too.
And so Big Tray did someone's cable in the apartment, and they wound up canceling the cable, so that his bill went up 10% per month.
Right.
But he's not paying for
he's so wrong.
He's so wrong on so many
many
accounts.
levels.
Yeah.
Right. From visiting hours to don't he have like a limit?
Yeah,
a Negro limit,
a two nigga limit,
two nigga limit
per house.
I mean, he's just coming up with all his own rules.
I feel like he just wants to constantly be in control. He wants to be boss man, so he thinks of every way to kind of cut some type of corner, say no, I'm running the show here. So.
I agree. And one of the funniest things I thought in that scene was when Fish referred to Vic as piano teeth. And I was like, yeah, his teeth do.
He does have some shiny pearly teeth.
His teeth do look like piano.
So wrong.
Bam's over here.
You got some white teeth too.
Yeah, man, tell me what's the secret, Bam?
But he's talking about also the size. They love messing with him. They're like they were calling him teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And later on in the scene, he referenced a Fish reference of Vic as Mr. Teeth.
Right.
So yeah, that's the ongoing.
That's the ongoing joke now.
And so he's okay with that.
Oh yeah. He just cracks up. One thing about this show is everybody's fair game. You know what I mean? Because they're all comedians, so they're fair game.
Yeah.
Right. And Michael will censor it. Michael will come back and say, no, that's not working for the story or whatever. But they rip on each other. You notice Booty called me a bitch this season, right?
He did.
I'm like, what? We're all fair game, and I mess with them. So, but yeah, Teets, I was wondering, but Vic is he's a team player. He gonna get him back.
Yeah,
he's gonna get him back.
I'm sure.
He's gonna get him back.
He did. And then we start to see Trayvon again. Trayvon is not happy. Just a question. Do you think that Trayvon in this episode was acting more like Jesus than Jesus himself?
I'm glad you just said that because I was actually going to speak on that scene that we just spoke about. I was surprised that Jesus was going along with the whole scaling of the cable, and he's like, he said, you holler at your pops, I'ma holler at mine, because this is supposed to be Jesus here, and one, stealing is part of the top 10 commandments. So at that point where you said the roles kind of switched with Trayvon and Jesus, and we saw Trayvon was not down ever since the start.
Yeah. Right. He wasn't down. And I won't jump ahead, but I think there's a full circle later on with Jesus. That he's something he didn't understand because he's Jesus, right, in terms of what that really meant. But he was just so down to see the fight.
Yeah. He was.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No. So there was a line taken out of the script, right? So you don't get to hear. But one of the lines was, he encouraged them as Jesus. He said, I'm the one that, because he was trying to talk me into letting him come if I wouldn't let the guys go to the part, let him come, right? So that part was cut out, but he said, I'm the one that inspired these two dudes to fight. Do you know how long it took me to get these two together? So as Jesus, he inspired this fight. So he really wanted to. He was motivated by that, right? So you don't get to hear that, but
Yeah.
I think that's why he overlooked. Or would overlook all of the other because he's like, oh, finally these two, are going to do.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to take Jesus aside for just a second. Jesus says that we're not stealing cable. Cable should be free. All right. on the panel, by a show of hands, and all you guys that are watching or you're listening, by a show of hands, how many of us have cable? Raise your hand. See, I don't.
Oh, I do.
I don't. And let me tell you why.
Expensive.
If it's expensive as hell, and then they want you to do the bundle package. Like, I don't have cable anymore because it's way expensive, and really live sports is what's keeping the cable on because you can watch stuff online.
And I'm getting ready to let it go.
Yeah.
I've got Apple TV, I'm getting ready to let it go because it's just too much. Yeah. And now with stuff online and HBO, what is it, on the go or whatever.
Demand.
It's just because they need to figure out how to bring it down.
Yeah.
Period. That's all.
And as we go into 2016, everything's about to be digital.
Anyway, and streaming and
just like you say, I watch all the shows that normally would be on cable. I can find them online on some site.
Right.
So. A lot of things will change as far as TV.
And more people. As a matter of fact, when people talk about Black Jesus now, they're like, "I want to see it, but I don't have cable." I hear that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Or they have to go online to see it, or how do I see it?
I believe if you go to AdultSwim.com and you click on shows and then you click on Black Jesus, then you can find all the shows on Black Jesus for season 2.
Right.
So AdultSwim.com, shows, click shows, and then click Black Jesus, and then you will be able to see all of season 2.
That's right. All the shows. That's right.
So now, Lloyd is eating dinner. He's eating again. He's outside. But this time he was outside eating dinner. Was he eating dinner outside because he has to patrol the guest list?
Well, wasn't this... Wait a minute.
No.
They sent him a little letter, right? That said, like,
but he was outside eating dinner. Or was he inside and he just yelled, I assume he was outside.
Wait a minute. I thought he was inside... No, he was outside. Yeah. He was outside.
So he was outside eating dinner. Okay, I guess that's cool. Sometimes eat outside. So
I'm sure he's used to it anyway.
Right. So he gets a package from the Booze Fairy saying, "Here's your Dobby."
He got that Dobby.
Go for a walk.
Just go for a walk.
Go long.
Yeah.
Go long.
Which I thought there was gonna be like someone sent that to kind of mess things up down the line, but I guess it was just to keep him out.
Just to keep him out.
Yeah.
And then Big Trey comes in and he hooks a cable up.
Right.
That's right.
And again, Trey is still having problems with it again.
Yeah, he didn't want his dad to do it. He did not want his dad to do it. And I got the feeling that he did not want his dad and Vic to have. They knew there was going to be a confrontation. Yeah. He knew it. He said it up at the top. He
That's
said,
right.
He's still mad. And they're like, that's 2 years ago. That's not going to be a problem. But he knows Vic, and he saw it. He foresaw it. He foresaw it coming. Yeah.
Even after that point too, Fish was like, "Hey man, thanks, blah blah blah. I'll even get you more business." And Trey said, "No, I don't think that's a good idea." So he was just not for the whole idea.
No, he wasn't.
Not at all.
And really quickly, let's discuss Fish and Trayvon, because Trayvon actually really stood up to Fish twice.
Which we don't usually see.
Which you don't normally see. And so what did you think about this?
Yeah.
He stood up, and he cursed.
Which, they just gave him a lot of backbone. Not that he doesn't have backbone, but he's always the techie who's kind of like pushed around by everybody, right?
Exactly.
But, he's like, you're not my boss. He's not going, Fish was trying to tell him to go to the store. He wasn't going, And I love that he gave him more, starch in his spine. He was like starting to stand up to people, including Jesus. He was like, I'm not down for this,
I was a huge fan of that, only because it's time for the little guy to speak up. And
that's right.
I guess Trey was the little guy at this point, and Fish was just nagging him, bullying him the whole time.
I liked him standing up. I thought it was a good character shift.
Yeah, I like the fact that he stood up. But if someone allows you to do something for such a long time, it's just standard. Nigga, go to the store.
Right.
Go do this, go do that, because it's something that he does.
Right.
So I'm partially defending Fish, saying that he was in every right to do it because
they've been
that's
doing it.
it's something
Right.
that they've been doing. So
That's
why
right.
would he not? Why would he expect him to respond differently?
Right.
Got you.
Which
Right.
even when Trayvon kind of stood up for himself, Fish was like, you better tell him
Jesus,
to
tell him,
tell
right.
him
Right.
to do it basically before I punch his boy in the throat.
Right, right,
Right.
and then Jesus said, "Man, go and do it."
Yeah.
You know.
Which
Right.
I think at that point, I think Jesus should have stood up for Trayvon,
Mm-hmm.
just like the many times Trayvon had stood up for Jesus.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
always he's a believer. He's
Yeah.
the devout
yeah,
believer.
he's got his back no matter
right,
what.
no matter
And
what.
he kind
But
of
he was tired this time. Right, this
Yeah.
one.
So Jesus and the disciples at Fish House decides to now that they have the cable hookup, they got the premium, they got HBO,
They got everything.
and they got the porno channel.
Right?
they got
Hooked them up.
they got the porno channel, and so now they decide, why not throw a very not the word cheap, a very oh boy.
First they wanted to.
Yeah.
First Booney wanted to throw an overpriced party.
Yes,
He's
overpriced.
like, let's overcharge people, and you know, and then Jesus was like, no, let's do an affordable party.
Yeah, affordable one. Yeah.
Right.
And again, Trayvon's like, no, we're gonna have problems. We're gonna have problems.
Right.
And then so now they decide that they're gonna have the party, the screen TV outside,
Right outside
the kitchen window,
Right.
and people can look down. I have to admit, I think that's pretty.
That was ingenious.
I think that was pretty brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And just make them stand.
Because it's not on the premises.
People will stand outside. You can have a DJ, play music in between the rounds.
Right.
There's a table with the food. I think that's a great idea.
Right.
And you don't gotta have people in your house.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And what do you think about Booney telling people, okay, on this side is for, one side.
Blacks over here,
Right.
Hispanics over here,
And then if you
Filipinos,
mix,
mixed hair.
it's going to depend on the straightness of your hair.
it depending on straightness of your hair. And then he told the girl, he was like, I know
That's a
Brazilian
weave.
hair. He's like, girl, get him out of here. That was
Corey is crazy.
how much of that was in the script? I'm curious.
I don't remember seeing that in the script.
Okay.
So I think that was all him.
What do you guys think of the whole idea of them actually charging people for the fight? Now, I'm sure coming from a hustler's mindset, they're just trying to make a quick dollar. But let's think about this. They're stealing the cable for themselves. Now they want to charge people for the act of them stealing.
Hey, listen. Now you know my character, Miss Tootie. So I know you're not asking me what I think about it. Because I think you
we
gotta
kinda
have your
know.
hustle on. You gotta have your hustle on. You know
Right.
what I mean? Those Negroes don't have no money.
Yeah.
They'll never have no food. They had to come up with some kind of game. So I was down for it.
I have to admit, it was only $12.
Right.
Which they were charging, which is pretty cheap, actually.
It's pretty
So,
cheap
yeah.
for 50 people.
You know what I love is when Booney. Remember when they when they were figuring out what they could charge, and Booney was like, "That's $1,000." It was like,
No,
"That's
it was like
$1,500." They're like,
$600.
"No,
It's
it's like
$600.
Yeah. I like the math though, Booney. Okay.
One other thing about Booney is I like the fact when they were trying to convince Trayvon to call Big Trayvon, he was like, he didn't want to call his dad, and then Booney was like, man, I try and call my daddy, but he changed his number every time. So again,
Relatable though.
relatable, and
Corey.
will we see Booney's daddy?
We gotta know.
Well, you know what? Oh, this season? No.
Okay.
Not this
Okay.
season.
Okay.
Now, do we hope that we have a third season? Yes.
Of course.
And there's still talk. There was talk last season about him
Yeah.
showing up this season. So we didn't see it. We're not gonna see it this season. But you're gonna have some fun these next couple of shows too.
Okay.
But then hopefully there will be a third season, and then Booney's dad will pop in.
We gonna pray for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's pray for it.
we gonna pray for
We
it.
gonna pray.
But speaking of a prayer, Vic didn't have a prayer when it came to standing up to Big Trey. They were all outside in the area,
Right.
The
Look
garden
back there,
area
the
type.
courtyard.
Yeah.
if you will.
and Vic is like, well, listen, you ain't supposed to be here.
Right.
They about to fight. They going at it, and he was like, "Flex, nigga, flex,
What's up?
nigga, flex, huh? You come to my zone. You come to my zone." He was like, "You ain't nothing but a big old bully." I'm gonna record this for my own protection, and then boom, he tases his ass.
And he tases him, and that was so right. And then in the meantime, again, Trayvon is like, no, Dad, because remember the guys are now betting. Fisher's like, my money is that Trayvon's dad's gonna whoop him, right? And he's like, no, I'm gonna record, and then tased him.
And then once Vic was down, who did he call on for help?
He called Jesus.
Lord, he said, Lord.
Oh, right, you're right.
No, he called for Jesus first, didn't he?
That's the second part. We'll get to that. But you're right. He did call for Lloyd.
Okay, all right.
He did call for Lloyd.
Yes.
Which again shows.
He didn't want nobody to touch him. But Lloyd. Right.
The man who stinks, but the man you trust.
The only friend.
Right, exactly.
The only friend.
There goes that relationship, just growing as the episode
evolving.
Run,
yeah. And so now Big Trey is bond for eternity at the at the garden.
Right. No more coming back. Nope.
For eternity.
Yeah, for eternity.
Right. And Trayvon once again is like, I saw this coming. He's upset. Mm-hmm. I thought he had a real interesting character arc, this whole story. A lot of it was about him or around him, and I really liked that he got to shine a lot.
Yeah, me too.
He's always, to me, a gem because his stuff is so subtle.
Yeah.
And it's funny, and you got to watch it and catch it. But this time it was, a lot was centered around him, and I liked that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it was.
Which too, we've seen there's always some type of underlying message within the episodes here. So I kept trying to think, who is Trayvon representing? Is it a special figure out of the Bible or something?
Oh, interesting.
I'm just trying to wrap my mind around.
Who was the most devout disciple? Was it James?
Peter?
Well, Peter. Well, up to the end when he denied him, but then after that he was so distraught after he denied him. But
I don't. Just a person in the Bible that comes to mind for me. Trayvon is like Job. He has so much patience. He's so nice.
The patience of Job.
He has the patience of Job.
Yeah.
So
which we all need at times.
Yeah.
So.
My vote
would be Job.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna do some studying. So next time I see you all, I'm gonna have something
Hit
to
us
say.
up on Twitter.
I'm gonna have a story. That's right.
Know.
That's right.
Anybody at home too, if
That's
you are
right.
good with the great book, always continue the conversation too. We
That's
love to
right.
hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who is Trayvon in the Bible?
Right.
That's a great question.
Trayvon goes up after Vic decides to pull the cable. He goes back up against his heart and his wishes, and he goes up there and he gets electrocuted. And
and dies.
Do you think he died, or do you think the poor thing was just knocked out? What do you guys think?
I think he died.
I think he died. Yes. Reason why when Jesus goes to say, "Hey, you okay?" You kind of hear that background noise. The
miracles,
working
keys.
his magic there, and he comes back. So I think he did that.
Because remember, Fish took his pulse.
Yeah.
And he said he's gone.
He's dead.
Right,
yeah.
he's dead. Right.
So let me. I'm 50-50.
Okay.
I don't think he was dead.
You don't think he was dead?
But because also when Vic also was electrocuted and fell from the same roof.
Right.
Yeah.
He passed out as well, and then he had the same music and woke up and he said that, "Damn it, he died too."
They both died. They both died. Right.
Also, too, shout out to Batch when he did come here. He did gives a quick insight on a quick Trayvon tip, and then he said that he does die, which I thought it'd have been more dramatic, but I see what he did there. So yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, he said, guys, I died. And then I was like, wait, die? And he's like, die. And I was like, what?
Yeah, we asked him,
you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Right.
We asked him, is there any information he gives about his character? And he goes, well, I died. And so I just thought was.
What do you mean? Right.
I just thought he was just, BSing us.
Right.
And so you're right. It totally makes sense.
He died. No, he died. Because that's why he's so upset that he's like, yeah, but you're good. You're back. You only died for a few minutes. But the fight is on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just is like, what?
Yeah, he was like, I was dead for 3 days. I was there for 3 days. You only there a couple minutes. Just relax.
It's okay. It's okay.
Which then I found it so funny when Trayvon died. Everybody, hey, you okay? When Vic died, everybody was like, let's go watch the fight over here. So nobody cared about Vic.
Nobody cared except Jesus.
Yeah. Except Jesus. That's right.
Jesus.
And then, speaking of that, once everybody realized that Vic was dead, they go up to the house.
To his house.
And they invade Vic's house, and Lloyd is like, what is going on? Is this a parade? He's in his nice Vegas themed suit, and they literally all bombard the party.
Right.
And the money that they collected, they were able to keep.
They were able to keep it. $700
Yeah, $720.
Well,
they made some money.
Well, they were able to keep it, but Jesus wanted to give a little. So let's go back to the idea of Jesus stealing.
Yes.
Because Vic put him on some game that the fighters weren't receiving their fair share, right? And so then so when he realized that, he's like, we got to give some of this money, which I thought was hysterical, $700, and they're making millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
You know what I mean? Right. But he said, no, we got to give them something,
Which I think kind of.
How you feel about that?
No, I don't give him a dime.
Me too. I mean, I'm not into pirating and all that, but no,
But
they
don't
don't
give
get
him
the
a
money.
Vic had a point.
Did.
Reason why I say
I love this
Vic
show.
had a point was it is actually true. Entertainers, wrestlers, boxers, they put themselves on the line for the entertainment as well as for the sport, but they do deserve a cut, even though they're making $1 million a fight and all that stuff.
The reason that I disagree is because the place in where Vic is coming, he's full of shit. Because he's making people as an apartment manager, he is making everyone pay Cable go through his account so that he can get the rebate.
So he's stealing.
That's right.
So
stealing.
he's stealing as well.
That's
People
right.
people
That's
are not
right.
even allowed
That's
to
right.
have their own cable. And the fact that he's pocketing the rebates and then not even giving it to the tenants, he's full of it.
Oh no, he's morally slippery, without a doubt.
So he'd have had me. Yep, I'd have been like, here you go, Vic. No.
Right.
So it's like he's throwing rocks and hiding hand. And so for me, because Vic is just as maniacal as the other fellas, the only thing is Vic has more power because
it's he's a manager.
Because he's a manager.
Right.
So the only reason is Vic has money and the other cats are broke.
Don't. Yeah. That's right.
That's it. So I'm gonna say
he's such a hater.
I'm gonna say no. They should get the money. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But in the very end, they make $720, and so like you guys said, they wanted to give a portion. They said some. How much they gave, I'm not sure.
Right.
It could have been a tenth, which is, it could have been a tenth.
But that's right. They didn't even mention that.
They didn't mention what
that would have been interesting if they had said a tenth.
Yeah. So maybe just give a tenth to the boxers.
Right.
5 and 5, not 10 and 10, but maybe.
Yes.
And then they decide to finally reward Trayvon for his.
I love that.
His good doing.
Yeah.
Black Jesus now wants to go to the store for Trayvon.
I love that.
And I thought that was great. I wrote down his grocery list.
Oh yeah, because paper towels.
Yes, exactly.
Mementos.
He wanted everything.
Doritos. Spam to make them sandwiches.
And avocado.
Yes.
Yuck. Make this.
How wonderful is that for the fact that
I'm gonna make you guys some sandwiches.
The food that he was asked if what he wanted, he wants to share with the rest of his disciples.
Such a good guy. Back to his team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's such a good guy.
He really is.
Yeah.
That just shows how he just got a good heart. He's just a good person, and I just thought it was interesting that his character, this whole episode, if they listened to him from start, he'd have never died.
Yeah.
Right.
Sense,
but they wouldn't have had a fight though.
Yeah,
either.
they wouldn't have had a fight either.
That's the only
Exactly.
right.
So I just felt like even though the person who is keep trying to put you on the right path, he suffered the most, but they did kind of pay him back in the end by
right.
And like we
and
said,
he said something like, "I'm a hero. I feel like a hero."
He felt like he said he felt like a hero, and he was finally rewarded. So I think that was great. Since we didn't see much of your character, I believe there's 2 more episodes left.
2 more episodes.
And so we've heard about the big reception. We've heard about that, and so
The reception. Next show.
I heard it's the episode, so I think it's next week.
It's
so
next week. I'm not in next week, but so I don't remember the. I don't remember the script.
I'm having problems. See,
Okay. but the last show, the Christmas show, it's all over.
Okay, so
It's all over. So, well, they had the storyline with Bernadette, and it's good to see her,
Yeah.
Bernadette and Lloyd and Vic, the love triangle. So they got to finish that out.
see,
And
That's
right,
right,
Valencia
yes.
is. I cannot wait to see.
I heard.
Let me just say, she acts up in a way we've never seen.
Is this for the Christmas or is this for next week?
For next week.
Okay,
You're
so
gonna have a ball
Good,
watching her
good.
act up.
okay, so next week there is the wedding reception.
Yes.
So that means. I'm sorry. If you think I'm gonna spoil it, just mute me until someone else talks. So,
Spoiler alert!
so
Spoiler alert!
a reception.
Nice.
That means Lloyd and Bernadette are reconciling maybe their marriage, and then maybe their wedding, the reception. Something's gonna go sour. So you're not gonna be in the episode. Is Callie gonna be in the episode?
And Callie is. Oh, I don't remember. Oh, because
Okay.
you know what happens is we get these
Yeah.
scripts, you read them all. I read them all.
Yeah.
And but then you shoot what you're in,
Yeah.
and then you forget. So I'd have to go back and read it. But I don't. She's been in 3 episodes this
Yeah.
season, right? Have you
Yeah.
seen her in 3?
She ain't been in it much.
Yeah,
No,
not-
12.
Yeah.
No, I know we miss her.
Yeah.
I miss her. 3. She was in 4 episodes this
Okay.
season. So I know we saw her in Side Bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw her in the one Hands of
Church.
God
The hands of God, and then
and
there
the
was
church.
and the yeah.
Okay, so she won't be in this one, but she will be in the last one. The very last one. And as a matter of fact, she's pretty funny in the
Adult
last one
Swim.
too.
You see my reaction.
It's like put all those, put
Yeah.
everybody back in there.
Ensemble cast. Ensemble cast.
Yes,
I
yes.
need you to put everybody in each episode. Thank you very much.
What if the wedding has to deal with Jason in Valencia?
I thought about that too.
Mum's the word for me. Mm-hmm.
Right, because who's to even say that the reception is with Lloyd?
That's
and
true.
Bernadette?
That's
Right.
true. Or
Right.
who's to say if it is about them that it's about them? You know, like it's gonna go the direction you think. Well, it's not gonna go in the direction you think it's gonna go in. You know
Yeah.
that already, right? This is gonna be crazy.
It's Black Jesus. It's
Right, because it could be her and Vic getting married. Who knows?
I cannot see that. Though.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
And so, is there
Let's just
any?
say it's got a couple little
Okay.
twists.
Okay, and then a couple other questions. So for you, you'll be back in the finale
Last
episode
one,
for the
right,
Christmas.
The Christmas. It's gonna be crazy.
Is there? Can you give us a premise of it or no?
Well, how do how much can I say? Let's just say, remember the movie It's a Wonderful Life?
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. It's a classic.
Yeah, I heard it is. Okay.
So it's kind of got a premise loosely based around that,
Okay.
What
well,
if Jesus wasn't Jesus?
Wonderful.
do you have any questions for Black
wonderful.
Jesus
It's wonderful.
before I go into some other stuff?
I do not know.
So, okay, you mentioned before that you were part of the American the O.J. Simpson story
Right.
on American what is it?
American Crime,
American
right.
Crime. So I was watching Empire and I saw the commercial and I was so tempted to call you. I was like, oh, I can't wait. So now that you here, tell me everything. Are you playing O.J.'s mom or what?
Well, no, but since it's on IMDb,
Yeah.
I might as well. I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you before, but
Okay.
it's on IMDb, so you can look it up. But I played
So she
Barbara Cochran.
got the clearance, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first wife, and that's all I'll say. But
Okay.
storyline we can't talk about.
Okay.
And really wasn't supposed to say what I play, but now people already know. They're already telling me what I'm playing because they looked me up on IMDb.
And it's a 10 episode.
10 episode.
Okay.
Oh my God.
How many are you in?
2.
You in 2?
Well, actually, they took that back. I was supposed to be in 2. You hear my voice in 1.
Okay.
On the telephone, and then I'm in the second one.
And so literally it
But
just
oh my God, Courtney looks so much like Johnny. He's so good.
Courtney B. Vance?
Courtney. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
Okay. And so
it's gonna be so good.
Does it just chronicle the call?
The trial.
The
Trial. And it takes a look. I can say this. It chronicles the trial and their stories.
Okay.
The attorney's stories. As well. So because we all kind of know we think we know anyway. You know, we've seen the documentaries, etc. So where everything is centered around OJ.
Okay.
But this is about their lives as well.
Okay, Cuba Gooding Jr. is playing O.J. Simpson. Okay, anything else? Anything else?
Good.
That I think it comes on sometime in the winter.
Right.
Okay, and then what else is going on with you,
And
Foster?
for me, the Fosters is, I'm waiting to hear back if I'll be in the next season. But I had a nice, as a matter of fact, it was on the other night. Someone told me, and I'm coaching on a. I can never talk. But I'm coaching on a big film.
Okay.
And the lead character, so I'm excited about that. You'll know more soon.
And just remember, she was the acting coach to Michael Keaton, who was nominated for best actor for Birdman, which won movie of the year. So
she got skills.
Yeah,
she's a real deal when it comes to acting.
He gave me a lot of props that Michael did, and I always cringe a little bit, coach, because he came with so much, but definitely walked the walk and supported him to get there. And he was a sweetheart to me. And then went back with Alejandro again and worked with first-time actors.
Okay.
And this film I'm working on now, I'm really looking forward to telling you about it. But
is it with Alejandro?
No, it's with another director. And it's going to be very big, I think.
Okay, well, I think we've already really done predictions, and we've talked about next week's episode, so no need for predictions. So let's let everyone know where you can be found on social media.
Okay, hit me up, please.
Right there.
Angela E. Gibbs, ANGELAE GIBBS, at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'll hit you back.
Right, so make sure you hit her up, then holla at me at Be Your Own Dad. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, as well as on Facebook.
And you can go to Wide, and I am Bamm Ericsen. You can reach me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen. Special thanks to our guest, Angela Gibbs, who plays Miss Tute. And we want to thank you again, and you guys keep it locked. We'll be back next week with one of the other cast members who'll be coming, and we can't wait for this big episode that's coming.
It's gonna be
so
good.
keep it locked. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.